questions are so hard. Actually, I think this is the hardest question I've ever gotten. So, hi, my name is Bo. I'm a small artist based in the Bay Area, and today I'm going to be answering all of your questions. So I hit 4,000 followers on Instagram, which it feels like it's been a long milestone that I've been waiting for. So thank you so much to everyone who loves my art, appreciates art, or is interested in like art business, to Artist Alley, craft shows, so on and so forth. I posted an AMA on my story, and thankfully I got a lot of questions from y'all, so thank you so much, because honestly, I didn't think anyone was gonna ask me anything. If you're interested in learning more about me as an artist, my life, how I balance everything, or, some fun questions towards the end, then stick around for the rest of this video. If you kind of want to hop around or need to go through this video with a more direct way, you can go look at my description with all the timestamps below. So to get started, I'm going to talk about the lore, I guess, of LettucePunch. I got two questions, one being, where does the name LettucePunch come from? I will say that it's not a very crazy story or anything drastic or anything like that. My main accounts online starting in like 2012, they used to be a different username, and then I changed it as I got older to Lettuce Crunch. I love crunchy vegetables, I love eating lettuce, and my favorite thing is to eat cucumbers as if they're apples. Like, I'll just wash the cucumber and eat it like that. I really love crunchy textures, it's just my favorite thing, so I just was like, hey, Lettuce Crunch is a good name. And during that time, I started posting art. I think this was about 2017, 2018 when I started posting art online, and I needed a new name just to post art under. So my fiance, well, my girlfriend at that time, Kaya, was like, hey, just do a LettucePunch. And it was supposed to be a temporary name at first, but it kind of just stuck. Obviously it did, because that's still my username. I don't really have several main accounts online anymore, and Instagram is my main form of social media, and it's been for a long time. I feel like my art account kind of embodies a lot of my life and my interests. So that is where LettucePunch came from. It originally came from my main username called Lettuce Crunch. Then the second question that kind of goes along with the first one is, what was your inspo for your little lettuce sona? My little lettuce sona doesn't really have a name. He kind of goes by like lettuce or crunchy. And I like to call people in my broadcast on Instagram crunchies. If y'all like that, I guess, name for whatever, then y'all are crunchies. During the time that I was making this mascot, it was the romaine lettuce E. coli outbreak. And I was like, I love iceberg lettuce. Like, don't love romaine. Romaine is evil, whatever. I don't know what I was on about during that time. I was adamantly against romaine lettuce because of the E. coli outbreak, which doesn't really, now thinking about it, doesn't really make any sense. I ended up just making an iceberg lettuce as my mascot, and everyone thinks he's a cabbage, but he is an iceberg lettuce. I love iceberg lettuce. I honestly love all lettuce. Like, I don't know why I was so hateful back then. I'm a different person now. I really want to either back away from like the whole lettuce theme or like dig more into it, because I know a lot of people love my little lettuce mascot, and I think he does not get enough love from me, so I'm kind of balancing between the two right now. Kind of going off of the first two questions, but if you were in an alternate timeline and had a different business name, what would it be? So I really have been thinking about rebranding recently. Like I said, I'm either gonna dig more into the lettuce theme or back away from it. Honestly, I kind of have been wanting to change my name to like Mango Parfait or something mango related. Since a lot of my art has been digging into my seal interests for a couple years now, I want to make it more about like the history of why I love seals. So I have two seal plushies. They're both from this brand called Zoo Goro, and they have an Arctic animal theme. I don't think they make that series anymore. Seal plushie that my fiance got when we were still in college, and her name is Mango because she's a white seal with like a little mango slice mouth. And I have another seal plushie that's named Pesci, and he's a long green seal. So I've been kind of thinking about integrating those two, like my two favorite plushies, into my brand more, but I don't know yet. That is pretty much the LettucePunch name and lore, and it's not that interesting in my opinion. Congrats on 4K. Do you have a dream con you'd love to vend at someday? I think this is everyone's dream con. I feel like this is not very original of me, but I would love to vend at Anime Expo. It is the con that everyone just talks so highly about. Last time I was at Anime Expo was 2017. That was my first time and my last time since being there because the crowds are just so insane. I cannot imagine myself being an attendee. Someone recently asked me a question if I prefer attending or vending, and I think I like vending more because you have a home base to go back to versus attending a con or attending an event. You don't have like a place that you can just run off to if it's really crowded and busy. I do not like being in crowds. I do not being like butt to butt with people or like elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder. Like I don't like that. So I like being able to hide away at my table until the event cools down a little so I can walk around after. But yeah, my dream con, not too original, is Anime Expo. I've actually been accepted to Anime Chibi a few times, or Anime Expo Chibi a few times, but the time just never works out with trying to travel or do work stuff or whatever is going on. Like the day just never works out. What got you started in markets? So actually my first time attending a market, like in my memory, is going to OC Zine Fest for my friends who were vending there. I remember going to like a bunch of shows and like markets, like local events that were happening. I grew up in Vallejo, so we had lots of Filipino events at the waterfront, but really I mostly remember being interested in the art scene when it was OC Zine Fest because it was a show curated purely of artists, no drop shippers, no wholesale resellers. So yeah, that was the beginning of it. I was supposed to vend at OC Zine Fest in 2021 when the first vaccine rollout happened for COVID. But then a new variant had came out, and to reduce risk, they just canceled the event. By that time, I ended up moving to the Bay Area again, so there was like no zine fest for me. And honestly, I was gonna make a zine just to be there. That's like one of the requirements. You have to have at least one zine, and I still don't have a zine, so I guess it just never worked out. Going off of that question is I want to know how to find so many events to attend to. I think for me it's a little bit easier now because I have friends who vend and then I just see events that they're doing. There's also multiple Instagram accounts that will tell you what events are happening in the Bay Area or in your city in specific. I'm part of this group called Twinkle Pop, which is an event organizing group here in the Bay Area. My friends Ash and Lala are the hosts for Twinkle Pop and the owners. We recently had an event called Trinket Pop, and we were tagged in a long list of other events that were happening in San Jose. So there's someone out there posting, local events that are happening. If you can find those accounts or follow your friends who do events or make friends with people who do events, then you'll be in the know for all of the markets that are happening. If you want a list of some event coordinators who post about events that are going on, I have a list right here for you. These are like the main ones I could think of on the top of my head. Again, I use Instagram a lot. Instagram is my main social media that I consume and post on, so I feel like I just stay up to date with whatever events are happening near me, or I don't know, honestly, I stay up to date with events that are happening all over the US. How do you balance doing art and your non-art job? So this question is a little hard for me to answer because I know everyone's situation is different. Just keep in mind that I work remote. I haven't really had to go in office for a long time. I go into the office maybe 4 times a year. And yeah, so I stay home and I work remote, and that's really easy for me to go from my day job to my art job. And I think having a flexible job that allows you to do that is probably the best for stability and like your mental sake, because when I was working in office, it did take a lot of mental and physical energy out of me, just like commuting 2 hours into the city and having to be at my desk with my big lights over my head. Like, it was exhausting, and I did have to put art and social media on the back burner for a while. Honestly, my job is so flexible that I am able to balance both without feeling too overwhelmed. It's obviously still a hard thing to do, but I feel like compared to other people who work more labor intensive jobs or have to go in office, it's very different. The hardest thing for me is staying organized and staying up to date with what I want to do. I've been using a digital calendar for about 3 or 4 years now. Even before that, I used a digital calendar all through college. I could just reach for my phone and it's right there, because a physical calendar, I would have to bring basically an additional thing with me. I would usually ignore that additional thing. Digital calendar is great for reminders. I also use alarms a lot to remind myself to take breaks, to go read, to go do something else that is not work or art related. Honestly, for me, because I am remote and I do have an art job, it's hard to leave the house. Like, I'm always home, I'm always in this space. That means I work for longer. I have to find time to clean more often. I have to find time to also cook. For the beginning of this year, I've been doing rice cooker meals, which has been really helpful. If you Google some rice cooker meals, they're really good. I could go on and on about rice cooker meals because it saves so much time. Like, one pot of rice cooker meal could last me 3 days. Another thing that I do to give myself grace when I'm really busy is the cleaning part. So it's a lot of work to clean when you're always working or when you're always busy. I try to tell myself that 10% of cleaning is better than 0% a day. So I will clean at least an area or something that I've been targeting for a while, and usually it only takes me 20 or 30 minutes. So I would say that 10% usually grows to 30 or 50% a day. Yeah, that's pretty helpful because some progress is better than no progress, in my opinion. But yeah, that is pretty much how I balance my two jobs. Having a team and a boss who are really flexible and really nice, really chill, helps. I'm not saying my job is easy, but my job is not labor intensive, so that's just a really big thing to consider. What is the most difficult thing about doing art for you? The most difficult thing for doing art for me is finding like the pleasure in it. A lot of my art varies. My interests change all the time. I'm always changing what game I like to play, what music I'm listening to. Then my art changes, and it's hard for me to find pleasure in maintaining or restocking stuff that I'm no longer interested in. Like, a good example is Love and Deep Space. I haven't played Love and Deep Space in so long. Like, I think it's been since December. I know there's a new guy out and his name is Falco or something, and he's like a wolf, but I'm not interested, and I still have a bunch of Love and Deep Space stuff. So I am kind of struggling to see what to do with it. But I would say for me, art is about drawing what you're interested in and doing what you're interested in. So if I'm not maintaining like my current interest all the time, I get kind of sick of it. What is the most difficult thing about running an art business? Okay, most difficult thing about running an art business is balancing the everything that's part of it. So we did talk about balancing a day job and an art job, but your art job comes with multiple hats: social media, recording, video editor. There's so many roles that you play other than just drawing. Like, I'm also a bookkeeper for myself. I have to like apply myself to events. Like, I don't do anything with an assistant. It's just me. Yeah, it's fun. It's just hard to keep up with everything. Recently, my biggest pain point with having an art business is having stock and not seeing it go away. So I have so many charms that are from my first year of vending that I still hold on to, and I'm so tired of seeing them. If you are still this far in the video, I do want to tell you that in the next year or so, my products are going to change drastically. I am so tired of having acrylic charms that I'm going to change my life. So when you come into 2027 and see me at an art market, I'm planning on changing everything. I feel like that was a little bit hyperbolic, but I'm going to try my best to bring more variety into my inventory. And I'm going to be discounting all acrylic charms starting at K Playfest next month. So I think that was all of the art and art business related questions. I can get into the other questions. First one is, what is your favorite thing you've been doing recently? Okay, it's kind of hard because I feel like my life has been consumed by art and wedding planning right now. I have been doing Murdoku, which is a murder mystery Sudoku. If you are into stuff like that, it is so fun. I love just trying to like use my little brain. I've also been trying to put limiters on my phone so that I do other things. And I want to make a whole video about that too, where it's about like, instead of scrolling, here's what I've been doing and the progress that I've made on that. I try to do little arts and crafts outside of my phone and outside of my art business. So I started making press-on nails again. I also have been doing Decodin projects at home. I'm really into using my Digicam right now. So that's a few things that I've been doing recently. I do also want to say I've been trying to indulge in more media, so watching more shows and movies. I recently watched The Backrooms, and I do want to watch Obsession soon when that comes on streaming platforms because I don't think it's airing near me anymore. I also want to watch I Love Boosters, and Kaya and I recently watched this Japanese movie called Linda, 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 which was really good. So yeah, I've been consuming more media. I'm trying to eventually get to the point where I'll pick up a book again. It's pretty much the favorite things I've been doing recently. I don't know if that's super interesting because I feel like my life is just consumed by wedding planning right now. See, like I'm all over the place. Like my interests are always shifting and every day is something different for me. Pineapple on pizza. I am a huge fan of pineapple on pizza. I'm Southeast Asian, so I'm Vietnamese and Filipina. I grew up eating a lot of like savory and sweet food, sweet and salty, and I love pineapple on pizza. I think pineapple on pizza with barbecue chicken and thin crust is my favorite. I feel like that is a pizza from California Pizza Kitchen or Mountain Mike's, but that is my favorite combo. Otherwise, I'll be fine eating whatever pizza. Like I love veggie pizza, I love combo pizza. Those are like in my top 3, I would say. Okay, favorite dessert? This question's so hard. Actually, I think this is the hardest question I've ever gotten. I have a huge sweet tooth. I love sugar. I love desserts. I cannot deny it. Starting last year, I cut sugar out, and I only have a lot of sugar on special occasions, but I really try to cut sugar down from my life. I will count how much sugar, how many grams of sugar I eat every day because as I'm getting older, I need to watch my health. So it really sucks because my metabolism isn't what it was when I was in college or high school. Cutting sugar out really did a lot for me. I really miss having mango sticky rice. I miss eating ice cream. I miss eating pazookies. I just miss eating desserts all the time. But my favorite 2 desserts, I will say, number 1 is probably crepes. And my favorite crepes to have are Belly Good Crepes in San Francisco, Japantown. That place, I grew up there. I feel like is just like an embodiment of whimsy and joy, and it makes me so happy. Like having a little crepe and has a face on it, please. Second favorite dessert ever is tiramisu. My favorite matcha tiramisu is at Guum, which is a Korean bakery in Saratoga. Okay, I think that was all the questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a fun little video for you. If you want to see me at an in-person event or stay updated with Bay Area events, you can see my schedule right here. I will link everything down below. I do want to give a quick shout out to all of my Ko-fi members. So thank you so much to Muhi, Kata, Ash, and Brianna for being part of my monthly Seal Sticker Club. If you would like to receive mailed rewards every month to your mailbox, go ahead and check out my Ko-fi link down below, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!